Hello and welcome to the English Boost Zone. I'm so excited you're here today. Whether you're listening while commuting, working out, cooking, or just relaxing, you're in the right place. This podcast episode is going to transform how you think about learning English. We're going to cover everything from absolute beginner level to complete fluency, and I'm going to give you a clear roadmap, a step-by-step system that actually works. So get comfortable, maybe grab a notebook if you want to take notes, and let's begin this journey together. Before we dive in, if you're enjoying this podcast, please subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment telling me where you're listening from, and if you find this helpful, share it with someone who's learning English. Your support helps me create more content like this. Okay, let's get started. You know, I've been teaching English for many years, and I've noticed something interesting. Most people who try to learn English fail, not because they're not smart, not because they don't have time, but because they use the wrong method. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine someone named Maria. Maria has been studying English for 5 years. She knows all the grammar rules. She has a huge vocabulary. She can read English articles. She can understand English movies with subtitles. But when someone speaks to her in English, she freezes. She can't respond. She translates in her head, and by the time she figures out what to say, the conversation has moved on. Does this sound familiar? Maybe you are Maria, or maybe you know someone like her. The problem is not Maria's intelligence. The problem is her method. She's been learning English like it's mathematics, memorizing rules, studying textbooks, taking tests, but language is not mathematics. Language is a skill, like riding a bicycle, like swimming, like playing an instrument. And skills are learned through practice, through repetition, through making mistakes, not through studying theory. So today, I'm going to give you a completely different approach, an approach that focuses on speaking, on fluency, on real communication. Are you ready? Let's break this down level by level. Let's start at the very beginning. If you're an absolute beginner, you're in the best position because you haven't developed bad habits yet. You're a blank slate, and I'm going to help you build a strong foundation. The first thing you need to understand is this: you don't need to learn everything at once. You don't need to know all the grammar. You don't need a vocabulary of 10,000 words. You need to start small, start simple, and build from there. So what should an absolute beginner focus on? 3 things: listening, speaking, and basic vocabulary. That's it. Nothing else matters at this stage. Let me explain each one. First, listening. As a beginner, your ears need training. You need to get used to the sounds of English, the rhythm, the melody, the way words connect. How do you do this? You listen to English every single day, even if you don't understand everything. Let me give you specific recommendations. Listen to beginner-level podcasts. There are podcasts specifically designed for English learners. They speak slowly. They use simple words, perfect for beginners. Watch children's cartoons in English. Yes, I'm serious. Cartoons use simple language, clear pronunciation, and visual context helps you understand. Listen to simple songs with lyrics. Music is powerful for language learning. Find songs with clear, simple English. Listen while reading the lyrics. Use language learning apps with audio. Apps like have audio for every word and sentence. Listen and repeat. The key is this: listen for at least 30 minutes every day. It doesn't have to be focused study time. You can listen while doing other things, washing dishes, walking, exercising. Just fill your ears with English. Now let's talk about speaking. Many beginners make this mistake. They wait, they think, I'll speak when I'm ready, when I know enough. But here's the truth: you'll never feel ready. You have to start speaking from day one. Even if you only know 10 words, speak those 10 words. But I understand you might be thinking, I don't have anyone to speak with. That's okay, you can speak to yourself. I'm going to give you a simple exercise. It's called self-narration. Here's how it works. As you go through your day, describe what you're doing in English out loud. For example, you wake up, you say, I wake up, I open my eyes, I stretch. You go to the bathroom, I brush my teeth, I wash my face, I look in the mirror. You make breakfast, I make coffee, I toast bread, I eat breakfast. See how simple this is? You're using basic present tense, simple sentences, but you're speaking, you're using English actively, and that's what matters. Do this exercise for 10 minutes every day. Just narrate your actions. At first, you'll struggle, you'll forget words, you'll make mistakes. Perfect. That means you're learning. After a few weeks, it will become easier, more natural. And your brain will start thinking in English automatically. Now let's talk about vocabulary. As a beginner, you need to learn the most common words first. There's a principle in language learning called the 80-20 rule. It says that 20% of words are used 80% of the time. In English, if you learn the 1,000 most common words, you can understand about 80% of everyday conversation. That's powerful, so focus on these high-frequency words. How do you learn them? Not by making lists, not by using, but by learning them in context, in sentences, in phrases. Let me give you an example. Don't just learn the word go, learn phrases with go. I go to school, I go home, I go shopping, let's go, go away. See the difference? You're learning the word in context. You're learning how it's actually used, and you can use these phrases immediately. Here's your action plan for the beginner level. Listen to simple English for 30 minutes daily. Practice self-narration for 10 minutes daily. Learn 5 new words in context every day. That's it. Simple, manageable, effective. Do this consistently for 3 months and you'll be amazed at your progress. Okay, now let's move to the elementary level. At this stage, you know some basic vocabulary. You can understand simple sentences. You can speak a little bit, but you're still not confident. You still translate in your head and you still make a lot of mistakes. That's completely normal. This stage is about building confidence and developing fluency. Let me tell you what fluency really means, because many people misunderstand this. Fluency does not mean speaking perfectly. Fluency does not mean making no mistakes. Fluency means speaking smoothly, without long pauses, without constantly translating. Even if you make mistakes, if you can keep speaking, you're fluent. So at the elementary level, your focus should be on speaking smoothly. Not perfectly, smoothly. Here's how you do it. First, you need to expand your listening. At the beginner level, you listen to simple, slow English. Now you need to move to natural speed English, but still simple content. Here are my recommendations. Listen to English learning podcasts at normal speed. There are many podcasts for learners that use natural speed but simple vocabulary. Listen to interviews or talk shows. These have natural conversation, natural speed, but you can choose topics that interest you. Listen to audiobooks at normal speed. Start with simple books. Young adult fiction is perfect, simple but engaging. Watch TV shows with English subtitles. This is important. Use English subtitles, not your language. This way you're reading and listening at the same time. The goal is to train your ears to understand natural speed English. At first, it will feel fast. You won't understand everything. That's okay. Your brain will adjust. After a few weeks, it will start feeling normal. Now let's talk about speaking at this level. You're past the stage of just narrating your actions. Now you need real conversations. Even if they're imaginary, here's a powerful technique. It's called shadow conversations. Here's how it works. Think of a common situation like ordering food at a restaurant or asking for directions or meeting someone new. Imagine both sides of the conversation and speak both parts out loud. Let me give you an example. Restaurant scenario. You, hello, I'd like to order, please. Waiter, of course, what would you like? You, I'll have a burger and fries, please. Waiter, what would you like to drink? You, water, please. Waiter, anything else? You know, that's all, thank you. See what you did? You practiced a complete conversation, both sides. This trains your brain for real interaction. It prepares you for actual situation. Do this with different scenarios, at the doctor's office, at the supermarket, at work, on the phone. The more scenarios you practice, the more prepared you'll be. Another speaking technique at this level is called the 4-3-2 technique. Here's how it works. Choose a topic, something simple, like my daily routine or my favorite hobby. Set a timer for 4 minutes. Talk about the topic for the full 4 minutes. Don't stop. If you don't know a word, explain it differently. Just keep speaking. Rest for a minute, then set the timer for 3 minutes. Talk about the same topic again, but this time you have less time, so you need to be more direct. Rest for another minute. Finally, set the timer for 2 minutes. Talk about the same topic one more time, even faster, even more direct. This technique is amazing for building fluency because you're forced to keep speaking. You can't translate, you don't have time, you just speak. Do this exercise 3 times a week, each time with a different topic. Your fluency will improve dramatically. Now let's talk about vocabulary at the elementary level. By now, you should know about 1,000 common words. Now you need to expand to about 3,000 words. But here's the important part. Don't just learn random words. Learn words in groups, in categories. For example, spend 1 week learning food vocabulary. All the foods, cooking verbs, restaurant phrases, everything related to food. The next week, learn travel vocabulary, airport words, hotel phrases. Direction questions, everything about travel. See the pattern. When you learn words in categories, they stick better because they're connected, they have context. Here's your action plan for the elementary level. Listen to natural speed English for 45 minutes daily. Practice shadow conversations for 15 minutes 5 times a week. Do the 4-3-2 technique 3 times a week. Learn 30 new words per week in themed categories. Follow this plan for 6 months, and you'll move from elementary to intermediate confidently. Welcome to the intermediate level. This is where things get interesting. At this level, you can have basic conversation. You can understand most of what you hear. You can express your ideas, even if not perfectly. But you still face challenges. Your vocabulary is limited. Your grammar isn't always correct. And most importantly, you still don't sound natural. You sound like a textbook. Let me tell you something important. Native speakers don't speak like textbooks. They use contractions, idioms, slang, casual expressions. And if you want to sound natural, you need to learn these too. So at the intermediate level, your focus is on natural expression, on sounding like a real person, not like a robot reading from a grammar book. Here's how you do it. First, immersion. At this level, you need to immerse yourself in real English, not learner English. Real English, here's what I recommend. Watch movies and TV shows without subtitle. Yes, without subtitle. This forces you to really listen, to focus on understanding from context. Start with shows you've already seen. Maybe you watched it with subtitles before, now watch it again without. You'll be surprised how much you understand. Listen to podcasts for native speakers, not language learning podcasts. Real podcasts about topics you enjoy: true crime, comedy, business, technology, whatever interests you. If you love the topic, you'll stay engaged even when you don't understand everything. Read novels in English, not textbooks, not news articles, novels, fiction, because novels have dialogue. They show you how people actually speak, how they express emotion, how they have conversations. Start with young adult novels. They're engaging but not too complex. Follow English speakers on social media, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. See how they write, how they express themselves, the casual language, the abbreviations, the modern expressions. The goal of immersion is to absorb natural English, to see the language as it's actually used, not as it's taught in textbooks. Now let's talk about speaking at this level. You can already speak, but you need to sound more natural. Here's a powerful technique. It's called echo practice. Here's how it works. Find a video of a native speaker talking. Could be a TED Talk, a YouTube video, a TV show scene. Watch a 10-second clip. Pause it. Now repeat exactly what they said, not from memory. Play it again and speak at the same time. Match their speed, their intonation, their rhythm, their emotion. This is called shadowing, and it's incredibly powerful. You're training your mouth to make the same sounds, the same rhythm. You're training your brain to process English at native speed. Do this for 15 minutes every day with different speaker, different accent, different emotion. After a few months, you'll notice something amazing. You'll start sounding more natural, more native-like, without even trying. Another speaking technique at this level is recording and self-correction. Here's how it works. Choose a topic you know well. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Record yourself speaking about that topic. Don't plan it, just speak naturally. Now listen to your recording. Don't judge yourself harshly, but notice these things. Where did you pause? Why? Did you translate in your head? What words did you struggle with? Note them. Did your grammar sound natural? If not, how could you say it better? Now record yourself again. Same topic, but try to fix the issues you noticed. Speak more smoothly, use better words, better grammar. Do this exercise twice a week. It's like having a personal coach. You're identifying your own mistakes and correcting them. Now let's talk about vocabulary and expressions at this level. By now you should know about 3,000 words. Now you need to learn idioms, phrasal verbs, and collocation. Let me explain each one. Idioms are expressions where the meaning is not literal. For example, it's raining cats and dogs doesn't mean animals are falling from the sky. It means it's raining very heavily. Idioms make you sound natural and native-like. Phrasal verbs are verbs combined with prepositions, like give up, look after, put off. Native speakers use these constantly. They're essential for natural English. Collocations are words that naturally go together, like make a decision, not do a decision. Take a shower, not make a shower. Native speakers use certain word combinations automatically. You need to learn these too. How do you learn all of these? Not by memorizing lists, but by noticing them in context. When you watch a show and hear an idiom, write it down. When you read a book and see a phrasal verb, note it. When you hear a natural expression, save it. Keep a notebook or use your phone, collect these expressions, and review them regularly. Here's your action plan for the intermediate level. Immerse yourself in real English content for 2 hours daily. This can be movies, podcasts, books, social media. Practice echo technique for 15 minutes daily. Record yourself speaking twice a week and self-correct. Collect and learn 10 idioms, phrasal verbs, or collocations per week. Follow this plan for 6 to 12 months. And you'll sound more and more natural. Now we're at the advanced level. This is the final state. At this level, you can understand almost everything. You can express complex idea. You can have deep conversation, but you might still struggle with subtle things. Understanding humor, using sarcasm, catching cultural references, expressing nuanced emotion. This level is about refinement, about polish, about moving from good to excellent. Let me tell you what separates advanced speakers from native-like speakers. It's not grammar. Advanced speakers usually have good grammar. It's not vocabulary. Advanced speakers know plenty of words. It's 3 things: pronunciation and accent, cultural knowledge, and spontaneous fluency. Let's address each one. First, pronunciation. Even advanced speakers sometimes have pronunciation issues. Maybe your accent is strong. Maybe you struggle with certain sound. Maybe your intonation is flat. Here's how to fix this. Record yourself reading a paragraph. Compare it to a native speaker reading the same paragraph. Identify specific differences. Is it individual sounds like or are? Is it word stress like saying are versus record? Is it sentence intonation, rising and falling pitch? Once you identify your specific issues, work on them deliberately. There are YouTube videos for every pronunciation problem. Watch them, practice, and record yourself again. Another pronunciation technique is accent reduction training. Now let me be clear, having an accent is completely fine. Many successful English speakers have accents, but if your accent makes you hard to understand, you might want to reduce it. Accent reduction is about making key sounds clearly, especially sounds that don't exist in your native language. Work with a coach if possible. Or use online resources. Practice the specific sounds you struggle with. Second, cultural knowledge. Language and culture are connected. To truly sound native-like, you need cultural knowledge. You need to understand references, jokes, social norms. How do you gain this? Consume culture. Watch popular TV shows, not just for language, but to understand what people reference. The Office, Friends, Game of Thrones. These shows are referenced constantly in English conversation. Follow news and current events. Read major newspaper. Understand what's happening in English-speaking country. This gives you conversation topics and context. Understand humor. English humor often involves sarcasm, irony, wordplay. Watch comedy shows. Stand-up comedy. Understand what makes English speakers laugh. Learn about history and literature. Basic knowledge of English-speaking countries' history and major literary works helps you understand references. Third, spontaneous fluency. At the advanced level, you can speak fluently when you have time to think. But what about spontaneous situation, debates, fast-paced conversations, thinking on your feet? Here's how to improve spontaneous fluency. Practice impromptu speaking. Set a random timer throughout the day. When it goes off, speak for 2 minutes about whatever topic comes to mind. No planning, just speak. This trains your brain to organize thoughts quickly in English. Join debate clubs or discussion groups. Find online communities, discussions, Discord servers, Facebook groups. Engage in real-time conversations where you have to respond quickly. Practice thinking in English for everything, not just when you're consciously learning, all the time. Internal dialogue, decision-making, problem-solving, everything in English. At this level, you should be dreaming in English. That's when you know English has become a part of you. Here's your action plan for the advanced level. Work on specific pronunciation issues for 20 minutes daily. Consume cultural content for 2 hours daily. Shows, news, comedy, articles. Practice impromptu speaking throughout the day. Engage in real-time conversations with native speakers regularly. There's no specific for this level. Some people stay here for years, constantly refining, constantly improving, and that's okay. Fluency is a journey, not a destination. Now I want to talk about something crucial. Mindset, because I've seen talented people fail because of wrong mindset, and I've seen average people succeed because of right mindset. Let me tell you the key beliefs of successful language learners. Belief 1: mistakes are good. Every mistake is a lesson. Successful learners don't fear mistakes. They embrace them. They see them as data, information about what to improve. If you're not making mistakes, you're not pushing yourself. You're staying in your comfort zone, and that's where growth doesn't happen. Belief 2: consistency beats intensity. Studying English for 8 hours once a week doesn't work. Studying for 30 minutes every day does. Language learning is like watering a plant. A little bit every day, not a flood once in a while. Successful learners make English a daily habit, non-negotiable, like brushing teeth. Belief 3: perfect is the enemy of good. Don't wait until your English is perfect to use it. It will never be perfect. Even native speakers make mistakes. Use your English now, imperfectly. That's how you improve. Successful learners speak even when they're not sure. They communicate. They don't let perfectionism paralyze them. Belief 4: language is a tool, not a test. The goal is communication, connection, understanding, and being understood. It's not about getting 100% on a grammar test. Successful learners focus on real communication. They prioritize being understood over being grammatically perfect. Belief 5: I'm responsible for my learning. You can have the best teacher, the best course, the best resources, but ultimately you're responsible. Successful learners take ownership. They don't blame circumstances, they find ways, they make it happen. Adopt these beliefs, and your learning will accelerate. Let's talk about obstacles, because everyone faces them, and knowing how to overcome them is crucial. Obstacle 1: lack of motivation. At first you're excited, but after a few weeks or months, motivation fades. Solution: connect your English learning to something you love. If you love movies, watch English movies. If you love cooking, watch English cooking videos. If you love gaming, play games in English. When learning is connected to passion, motivation sustains itself. Obstacle 2: fear of speaking. This is the biggest obstacle. You understand English, but you're terrified of speaking. Solution: start small and private. Speak to yourself first. Get comfortable hearing your own voice in English, then gradually expand. Speak to supportive friends, then strangers, then native speakers. Build confidence gradually. Obstacle 3: plateau. You improve quickly at first, then you hit a wall, you feel stuck. Solution: change your method. If you've been doing the same thing, do something different. If you've been studying alone, find a partner. If you've been focusing on grammar, focus on speaking. Shake things up. Obstacle 4: limited time. You're busy, work, family, life. You don't have hours to study. Solution: integrate English into your existing routine. Listen to podcasts while commuting. Think in English while showering. Watch English content instead of content in your language. You don't need separate study time. Just use English for things you already do. Obstacle 5: no one to practice with. You don't know any English speakers. You live in a non-English speaking country. Solution: the internet solves this. Language exchange apps connect you with English speakers. Online communities let you chat in English. AI chatbots let you practice conversation. There are no excuses in the digital age. Let me give you specific resources for each level. For beginners, app for basic vocabulary and grammar. Easy English YouTube channel for slow, simple content. Children's books in English for reading practice. HelloTalk app for finding language partners. For elementary learners, BBC Learning English for structured lessons. ESL podcast for natural speed but learner-focused content. Graded readers for appropriate level reading. Tandem app for conversation practice. For intermediate learners, Netflix without subtitles for immersion. The English We Speak podcast for idioms and expressions. Regular novels for advanced reading for professional conversation teachers. For advanced learners, native podcasts on topics of interest. The New Yorker or The Atlantic for sophisticated reading. Accent reduction courses for pronunciation refinement. Toastmasters or debate clubs for advanced speaking practice. All of these resources are available online. Many are free, the tools are there, you just need to use them consistently. Now let's create your personal action plan. I want you to think about this as you listen. First, identify your current level, be honest. Are you a beginner, elementary, intermediate, advanced? Don't overestimate or underestimate, just be real. Second, set a specific goal, not I want to improve my English, but something specific, like I want to have a 10-minute conversation without translating in my head. Or I want to watch a movie without subtitles and understand 80%. Specific goals give you direction. Third, choose your daily habits. Based on your level and goal, what will you do every day? Maybe it's 30 minutes of listening and 15 minutes of speaking practice. Write it down, make it specific. Fourth, schedule it. Don't just say, I'll do it when I have time. Schedule it, put it in your calendar, treat it like an important appointment, because it is. Fifth, find accountability. Tell someone about your goal, a friend, a family member, post it online. When others know, you're more likely to follow through. Sixth, track your progress. Keep a simple log. Every day you practice, mark it. Seeing your streak builds motivation. Seventh, celebrate milestones. When you reach a goal, celebrate. When you maintain a 30-day streak, reward yourself. Positive reinforcement works. This is your roadmap from wherever you are now to fluency. It's not complicated, but it requires commitment. It requires consistency. Are you ready to commit? My dear listeners, we've reached the end of this podcast episode. But really, this is not an ending. This is a beginning. You're beginning. You now have everything you need. A clear path from beginner to fluent. Methods that work. Resources to use. Obstacles and solutions. The only thing missing is your action. Let me tell you something from my heart. I believe in you. I've seen thousands of people learn English. People from different countries, different ages, different backgrounds. And the ones who succeeded weren't the most talented. They were the most consistent. They showed up every day. They practiced even when they didn't feel like it. They made mistakes and kept going. They never gave up. You can be one of them. You can speak English fluently. You can have conversation. You can watch movies without subtitle. You can travel confidently. You can advance your career. You can connect with millions of people around the world. All of this is possible, but you have to start. And you have to keep going. Remember, every fluent speaker was once a beginner. Every expert was once confused. Every confident speaker was once afraid. The difference is they started and they continued. So here's what I want you to do right now, right after this podcast ends. I want you to take one small action, just one. Maybe you'll download a language learning app. Maybe you'll watch one English video. Maybe you'll speak one sentence out loud, just one small action. Because small actions compound. One sentence becomes 10 sentences. One day of practice becomes a week. 1 week becomes a month. 1 month becomes a year. And 1 year from now, you'll be amazed at how far you've come. Before we finish, I want to ask you for something. If you found this podcast helpful, please subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment telling me your current level and your goal, and share this episode with someone who's learning English. Your support helps me create more free content like this. And finally, I have a question for you. What's the one thing you're going to start doing today to improve your English? Think about it and write it down. Make it real. Okay, my friends, it's time for me to go. But remember, I'm here with you on this journey. Every week, I'll be releasing new podcast episodes. New lessons, new tips, new encouragement. So subscribe and come back. Until next time, keep listening, keep speaking, keep practicing, and believe in yourself. You're going to make it. You're going to become fluent. I know it. I can see it. Now go out there and make it happen. This is the English Mastery Podcast. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep speaking English. You've got this.